What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. This morning I tweeted, in the mood for a quickie, what you guys want to talk about responding to best submissions in today's video. But before we get into the video, this is the part where I would put an ad or a sponsorship if I had any, but unfortunately I do not at the moment. So instead I ask that if you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button because we have 3 days, okay? We got 3 days left to hit 200,000 subscribers. We're really close, we're cutting it really close. So if you still haven't hit the button, today is the day. All right, let's get into the video. Hello 11 said, talk about how Pewdiepie got #1 most handsome face of 2020. Really? It's true. It says Pewdiepie named most handsome face of 2020 and the internet can't get enough of it. Most handsome face of 2020. Who was on this list? So this is a thing. There are most handsome faces of 2020. Pretty sure Chris Pine is on. He's more handsome than Chris Pine? Okay, let's just skip to the top 10. Or the top 15 because yeah, I agree. These are some handsome dudes. These are some handsome dudes. It looks like they have K-pop. He beat K-pop. Idris Elba. He beat Idris Elba. Wow. Shawn Mendes. This is actual competition. Y'all, hold up. Bro, that dude is hot. Okay. He's hot. All right. Timothy Chalamet. Actor. Don't know who that is. Attractive dude. Jason Momoa. He beat Jason Momoa. I know the girls love Jason Momoa. Zhao Zhan. Actor, singer, Untamed Wolf. Jason Derulo was top 10? I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe that's true. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. Yo, he beat Superman? Okay, this is getting kind of epic actually. Jeon Jungkook, that's K-pop, probably from BTS. I wouldn't be surprised. Chris Hemsworth was #3? How is this possible? Handsome dude. PewDiePie? That's crazy. Wait a minute. All right, look, I'm not saying that Felix is not unattractive. Not saying that at all. But to be #1 is absolutely insane. I mean, like, the more I look at him, the more I like his face. Congrats to the 2020 most handsome face. Hopefully I get entered into it next year. We'll see. Lucas Simons tweeted, a Nintendo seals court victory against knockoff Mario Kart tour company. What? All right, let's click this. Oh, that's right. I heard about these guys back in like 2017. Okay, Nintendo seals court victory against knockoff Mario Kart tour company. That's right. Before I even get to it, there was a company that was doing basically like Mario Kart stuff. Like it was called Mario Kart or something, or Mario Kart. And they all wore outfits that look like Nintendo and they were basically offering Mario Kart services. I remember this. This was back in, I think in 2017. A judge has confirmed Nintendo's court victory over a go-kart company that did Mario Kart themed tours in the streets of Tokyo. Earlier this year, Mario Kart, exactly. Now branded Street Kart, was ordered to pay Nintendo 50 million yen, which is the equivalent of $483,000 for violating its IP rights, bro. Ooh, Nintendo at it again, baby. The company appealed, but Japan's Supreme Court dismissed it, upholding Nintendo's earlier win. Nintendo first sued Mary Mobility, aka Mario Kart, back in 2017. Other companies offered similar tours, but Mario Kart's IP breach was particularly noticeable because it let drivers dress up as Mario Kart characters. Nintendo also felt its name could be sullied by safety issues, which proved to be valid concern after several incidents. Mario Kart lost the initial judgment and was ordered to pay $10 million, $97,000, and then subsequently made the prep's ill-advised move of slapping unrelated Nintendo signs on the cars following an appeal. So basically all they had to do at first is they got hit for basically copying Nintendo for $100,000. Now they have to pay $500,000 for appealing. Dang, dude. I know you guys hate Nintendo right now. I know a lot of you guys hate Nintendo right now, but Nintendo was clearly within their rights to stop these goons from running a company called Mario Kart and dressing up as Mario, Luigi, and Princess. No, that's absolute plagiarism and stealing at its final. They should have just took the L at first with $100,000. They took an L for $500,000 later. It is what it is, but Nintendo didn't do anything wrong here. This is the definition of them literally protecting their IP rights, in my opinion. At Null SSB said the Belle Delphine P-vid. Now look, okay, I'm a holy child, okay? I don't watch things like that, but I do have a friend named John Smith, and he told me all about it. John told me all about it, and he said it was okay. You know, it wasn't anything to like, you know, it was all right. You know, need some work, a good first impression, but left you wanting more, especially considering some of the previous things that she's done. John was telling me this, by the way. John was telling me all this information. John told me that some of the angles were kind of weird. Some of it was okay, but a lot of it wasn't. And that it's not worth your time. You can just go find something else, most likely. That's what John said. But me, come on, guys. Come on. I'm pure. At Cyber Gaming said maybe about Cyberpunk 2077 lawsuit. So if you guys weren't aware, Cyberpunk 2077 had the worst release game of all time, but at the same time, the best. They did really well for sales. They did really well. I think they sold like 13 million units or something crazy. So they did really well, but because of the whole debacle with the game basically not working and people wanting refunds, it pissed off a lot of people, including its investors, and they are filing for a lawsuit for the action. So this article by CBR says the launch of CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077 was marred by a host of issues, most of which pertain to video games performance on last-gen consoles such as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. On top of massive backlash from consumers, the developer is now also facing legal issues. Rosen Law Firm, a New York-based firm, has reportedly filed a lawsuit on behalf of investors alleging violations of federal securities law. Lawyers stated that CD Projekt Red made false claims about the recently released video game. Specifically, developer failed to make consumers aware that Cyberpunk 2077 was virtually unplayable on last-gen consoles. A class has not yet been certified. Now I'm kind of pissed off because when I talked about this, when I made my video, I basically said Cyberpunk 2027, it was a scam. I literally said this junk was a scam, and people were coming at my throat. But I'm sitting here saying, yo, guys, this is the worst release of all time, and people who have next-gen consoles shouldn't be suffering like this. They're stealing people's money. This is messed up. This is super messed up that they're getting away with it. People are like, you know, how many, you know, it's not a scam. That's a big word. No, it was a scam. I mean, if investors are suing for this, then this is basically the equivalent of a scam. Anyway, it says, in addition to the class action, CD Projekt Red is currently facing several potential lawsuits over Cyberpunk 2077 from both the United States and Poland. The developer has released a number of statements apologizing for the video game and promising last-gen consoles users that future patches would help improve the experience. A patch has since been released, but evidently failed to address some of the game's central issues. So yeah, I'm not surprised that investors are pissed off, because I would be pissed off too. As a consumer, I was pissed off. And if somebody was giving CD Projekt Red money and made this decision, I'd be pissed off as well, especially when it seemed like they were trying so hard to hide the fact that the game was literally unplayable for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I mean, all they had to say was, look, all they had to do was release it for just for the PlayStation 5 and say the other ones are delayed, or say, hey, here's a disclaimer. The game is going to have a lot of bugs. Just say it. The game is going to have a lot of bugs. You just say that and let people know and disclose that information, then it could have turned into a meme. Then people would have bought a game. They would have been like, all right, well, I knew what I was getting into. And they might actually have fun with it. Because there are some games that I play when it has the bugs in it. I actually, it makes the game even more funnier and more fun. I wouldn't have fun playing a game that I can't play when it's unplayable. But if I know that ahead of time, I know what I'm getting myself into. There's no legal issues. And they probably still would have sold out like crazy. I don't think saying something like that would have destroyed their sales. So it is what it is. They tried to mess up the system. They tried to cheat the system, and the system they got caught up to them. Papa Coochie Man Wheelie said Wonder Woman 84. All right, fellas, I watched Wonder Woman 1984, and I'm just gonna be straight up. I'm gonna be real talk, okay? Because I know a lot of people, a lot of guys, a lot of fellas are kind of worried about talking about Wonder Woman because it's a very important movie for women, because it's mainly, you know, produced by a lot of women and it has a lot of women participation. So men are kind of worried that, hey, if they say something bad about the movie, they'll get canceled for being a misogynist. But I'll tell you straight up, real talk, the movie was garbage. The movie was absolutely garbage doo-doo butter. Okay, when you watch and you sit down and watch just, let me go back. The beginning of the movie was absolutely amazing. They showed Wonder Woman. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but they kind of show her as a young girl going through events. That part was hype. Like, I thought the movie was going to be like that. That part showing the whole thing, I was totally down for. And you got Gal Gadot, you know, in 1984, looking good. Like she is. I have a crush on her. And I would say she did a pretty good job, but the writing in the beginning of it was so slow. And some of the acting, some of the writing, some of the direction with how they were doing it, it felt like a kid's cartoon. It felt like I was watching a Disney movie, and it was choppy. Some of the animations were cheesy, with her floating around with her whip, like with all this CGI that didn't even look that good. It felt super weird. And I was trying to enjoy the film, but I couldn't. It was really bad. And let me preface this to say that Wonder Woman, the first one, is definitely top 5 in terms of my superhero movies. There was one part, I loved that movie. There was one part she was coming out the pit and it was like, she was coming out. I was like, oh my God, I was about to, it was so beautiful. I like the first Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984 was not good until you finally got to like the middle and the end of the movie. There was just, it was 2.5 hours long and it didn't need to be that long. And the beginning just did a very poor job at just starting this whole thing up. But once you get to the action, when you get to the end, it's still choppy. It's still not great, but it's way better than it was in the beginning. So I'd give it a solid, to be honest, I'd give it a 5 out of a 10. That's how I do. I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 60 or a 70 or something crazy. I was like, what in the heck? I was surprised. I would give it a solid 5 out of 10. If you watch it, you will probably be bored, slightly not entertained for the majority of the movie, but then there will be some times where you perk up and start paying attention. Is it worth the watch? If you like the Wonder Woman series, yes. But if you're not really into Marvel and the comics, I would stay away from this. Cody tweeted, I want to start watching anime. Any suggestions? I usually have the same 3 or 4 suggestions for people who are new to anime because it's dependent on what they already like. But I would say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is really good. If you don't like that, try Cowboy Bebop. Death Note is a really good anime. Demon Slayer is probably one of the best animes that you can start that's completely fresh and new. That if you want to watch something that's more relevant in 2020, Demon Slayer might be one of the best. All right, I want to start anime shows because I think it's really well done in terms of making people who don't know anime get acquainted with it. Puppy Pug4 said, your thoughts on how you think 2021 is going to go? Well, my thoughts are that January 1st, 2021 is going to be a big day. Everyone's going to be waiting for the big first catastrophe to happen. I feel like last year, 2020, from what I can recall, one of the first big things that happened was, I think Kobe Bryant passed away with the helicopter crash, which was a terrible event. I think that happened early, rest in peace. And I feel like that was like the catastrophic event that people started using to basically say, hey, this year is terrible, because that was a very terrible start to the year. So I kind of feel like 2021 is doomed to fail, even though the goal is just not to be as bad as 2020. Like, we're still having the pandemic. 2021 is still having the pandemic. There's a new strain out of COVID out there that's affecting places like Britain and Canada. So we might see a COVID, the sequel, Electric Boogaloo. But I have a feeling, because so many vaccines have been put into place and things have been going on for so long, that I hope people will be a lot more smarter this time when it comes to staying indoors, seeing the effects, seeing how people have died, seeing that there is a cure in place. I don't think the economy is going to crash all over again. I think things will be better, but I think it still needs to get a little bit worse before it gets better. Whereas I feel like 2020 has just been this just huge drop. So yeah, that's how I feel about 2021. I think it's going to be a little bit better. It's hard to beat 2020 onto the scales of how bad it is. The only thing that can make it worse is if aliens came down and just started abducting people. That's it. The end of the world. We need an apocalypse to make 2021 terrible, or World War III. And I don't want that. So I'm not speaking it into an existence. I think I just did, though. Do Gaming tweeted, the president's signing of the new COVID-19 relief bill. Let's just read it straight from the mouth, straight from Twitter. The president signed the bill on Sunday shortly after tweeting that good news was on the way regarding the relief package. I saw that tweet last night. It comes after Trump refused to sign the bill and demanded Congress amend it to include a raise in stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000. 2 federal unemployment programs lapsed overnight on Saturday as a result of Trump's refusal to sign the bill. The latest development ensures the avoidance of a government shutdown. Somebody just follow me on stream. Hey, thanks for the follow, Robin Cole. So guys, I'm looking for some news articles that are kind of like not biased, that are kind of basic down in the middle, but it's hard. But I heard AP is pretty good. I heard NPR might be pretty well as well. I like to find out just the facts. I'm not trying to hear a Trump hate speech or anything like that. So I'm gonna read this out, and this is important, okay? Because if you live in America, you watching this video right now, you probably want to know what's going to happen. You might get $600, you might get $2,000, but unemployment just ran out yesterday, so this probably pertains to you. President Donald Trump signed a $900 billion pandemic relief package Sunday, ending days of drama over his refusal to accept the bipartisan deal that will deliver long-sought cash to businesses and individuals and avert a federal government shutdown. The massive bill includes $1.4 trillion to fund government agencies through September and contains other end-of-session priorities such as an increase in food stamp benefits. The signing at his private club in Florida came amid escalating criticism over his 11th hour demands for larger 2,000 relief checks and scaled-back spending passing even though the bill had already passed the House and the Senate by wide margins. The bill was passed with what lawmakers had thought was Trump's blessing, and after months of negotiations with his administration. His foot dragging resulted in a lapse in unemployment benefits for millions struggling to make ends meet and threatened a government shutdown in the midst of a pandemic. But signing this bill into law prevents another crisis of Trump's own creation and ends a standoff with his own party during the final days of the administration. So basically, guys, a lot of people think like, oh yeah, Trump signed it, maybe he cares about us or something like that. I think a lot of people are pissed off right now because essentially they've been working on this bill for quite some time, and Trump basically shot it down like at the last minute, at the last hour, probably not looking too much into the work beforehand. And by doing so, people who are unemployed now have this lapse of time where nothing's going to happen. They're not going to be getting any checks. They're not going to be getting unemployment. They're not going to be getting any assistance. There's going to be a time during this pandemic where people who are no longer getting any financial aid from the government, and it's going to be really bad. So this thing is really long, so I'm just going to read this paragraph because this looks important. Lawmakers now have breathing room to continue debating whether the relief checks should be as large as the president has demanded, which was $2,000. The Democratic-led House supports the larger checks and is set to vote on the issue Monday, but is expected to be ignored by the Republican-held Senate, where spending faces opposition. For now, the administration can only begin work sending out the $600 payments. So it looks like at a very bare minimum, you guys will be receiving a $600 check stimulus from the government. However, the $2,000 increase to the stimulus check from $600 to $2,000 is still being debated, but it looks like it's not going to happen. In my opinion, $600 just ain't enough to fix things, and it's too little, too late. This pandemic has been going on for months. Plenty of people's lives have been ruined at this point. I'm glad that something's happening from it. I hope they do increase it to $2,000 because a lot of money from the COVID relief bill are going to places that I feel like are kind of weird. I just hope that the government gives the people what they need during a time of need. Like, what's the point of paying taxes when you have a pandemic and everybody is suffering? And at this point in time, you need your government to come in and be like, all right, you've been paying us for years and years and years. Now we can help you in your crisis. But you don't get help. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would, I don't know. There's got to be some priorities done. I don't think $600 is enough. Hopefully $2,000 comes in. I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, I'm going to stop there. There was a lot more topics that I didn't get to touch that I feel like would be really good, but I think it would make the video like past 20 minutes. I'm not trying to keep you guys for over 20 minutes. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, do me a favor, leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. If you guys want to get in on the quickie, you guys want to talk about all this stuff, just follow me on Twitter. Otherwise, we got 3 days left. I already said before, yo, please subscribe because we're almost at 200,000 subscribers. That would be really dope. I would really appreciate it. I'm out. I'll get out of your hair. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Peace.